everyone, I'm Ryan, and welcome back to Speak Up, the podcast where we help you speak better English every single day. Whether you're listening for the first time or you've been with us before, we're really glad you're here. Today, we're talking about something super important: how to start a conversation in English with anyone. It sounds simple, but for many English learners, it's actually one of the hardest things to do. You may know a lot of words, you may even understand movies and podcasts, but when it's time to actually walk up to someone and say something, your mind just freezes.
Yes, Ryan. And I've seen this happen to so many people. They want to speak English, they really do, but they're stuck at the very first step, starting the conversation. And let's be honest, even native speakers feel nervous sometimes when they have to talk to someone new. But for English learners, the fear is double. You're thinking about grammar, pronunciation, and at the same time, you're worried about sounding weird or being ignored. That's why today's episode on how to start a conversation in English with anyone is going to be super helpful. We're going to break it down step by step and give you practical ways to begin talking confidently in different situations.
And what's great is you don't need big, fancy words to do this. You just need the right approach. We're going to show you how to start a conversation using simple English that anyone can understand. And by the end of this episode, you'll feel ready to speak to a stranger, a classmate, a colleague, or even someone online. Starting conversations in English doesn't have to be scary. It can be smooth, friendly, and natural once you know the right way to do it.
That's true. Today's podcast is full of real, useful expressions and strategies that you can actually use. No boring rules, no complex grammar lessons, just everyday English that helps you take action. So if you've ever felt nervous about talking to someone in English, or if you stayed quiet because you didn't know what to say first, this episode is for you. We'll help you understand what's really stopping you, and more importantly, how to break that silence and actually connect with people. This is all about how to start a conversation in English with anyone, even if you feel shy or unsure.
Let's first understand the fear barrier. Most people don't get stuck because they don't know English. They get stuck because they're afraid of using it in front of others. Your brain starts asking scary questions like, what if I make a mistake? Or what if they don't understand me? And this happens so fast, you don't even get the chance to speak. That fear, though it feels very real, is not about your ability. It's your mind trying to protect you from feeling embarrassed or rejected. But when it keeps happening again and again, it starts to hold you back. The fear barrier makes you silent. You stay quiet even when you want to speak, and that silence can turn into a habit. That's why it's important to understand this barrier and not judge yourself for feeling nervous. It's normal, but it's also something you can overcome, slowly and step by step.
Exactly, Ryan. I've met so many learners who understand English really well, but the moment they have to speak, they freeze. Their heart races, their mouth feels dry, and all the words just disappear. And they start thinking, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'll just embarrass myself. But this reaction isn't about your language level. It's your body responding to pressure. The key is to remember that speaking is not a test. It's a conversation. You're allowed to pause, to repeat yourself, and even to make mistakes. You don't need perfect grammar to start. What you need is to break that silence, even with a small sentence. Once you do, that heavy pressure on your chest starts to disappear.
And the best way to break it is by taking action. Small action. Don't wait for the perfect time when you feel 100% confident. That day may never come. Confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. Every time you speak, even if you're nervous, your brain starts to get more comfortable with it. It slowly learns that nothing bad happens when you try. You can mispronounce a word or forget a phrase, and guess what? The conversation still continues. No one is going to stop you or laugh. In fact, most people appreciate your effort to communicate. That's how progress begins, not with big changes, but with brave little moments.
And I think we also need to accept that nervousness doesn't go away completely. Even fluent speakers feel nervous in new situations or when talking to new people. That's normal. What changes over time is your reaction. At first, you may feel scared and go silent. But later, with practice, you feel that fear and speak anyway. You start to take control of your response. It's like building a new muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So if you've been silent because of fear, don't blame yourself. You're just human. And now that you understand what's really happening, you can start to deal with it more calmly.
One simple thing that helps is preparation. I don't mean memorizing full conversations. Just prepare a few friendly lines or common questions. That way, when your brain freezes, you already have something ready to say. It's like having a key in your pocket. When the moment comes, you don't panic. You use the key and unlock the conversation. It gives you a small boost of confidence and helps you take that first step. And once the first sentence is out, things usually get easier. The silence is broken and your mind starts to follow along.
Yes, and when that happens, you'll notice something amazing. Most people are actually kind and patient. They're not judging you. They're just happy to talk. The fear inside your head is often much bigger than the real situation. And once you've spoken a few times, that fear becomes smaller. So remind yourself, you don't have to be perfect and you don't have to say everything correctly. You just need to speak. One sentence, then another. That's how real progress happens. Not in your grammar book, but in those real moments where you choose to speak, even when your hands are shaking a little.
Now let's talk about one of the most powerful and simple ways to begin any conversation in English. Start with a question. It sounds easy, right? That's because it is. People naturally love to talk about themselves, so when you ask a question, you're giving them a chance to speak. And that takes the pressure off you. You don't need to give a speech. You just need to ask something friendly. This is one of the best ways to start a conversation in English with anyone, especially when you're feeling unsure. It can be someone at a coffee shop, a classmate, a coworker, or even someone at a social event. A question creates a bridge. It shows you're interested and opens the door for real connection.
Exactly, Ryan. And the great thing is, you don't need difficult or clever questions. Just something simple and natural can work really well. Let's take this example. Do you come here often? It's a short, friendly question and it works in so many situations. At the gym, at a cafe, at an English class. You're not asking anything personal, you're just starting with something familiar. And it's easy to understand and easy to answer. Another one I love is this your first time here? This question works great when you're at a workshop, an event, a new place, or even in a group activity. It gives the other person a chance to share their experience, and it creates a natural flow for more conversation.
Yeah, those are great starters. And here's another super easy one that I personally like is, hey, I noticed you're reading this. What do you think of it? This works really well when you're sitting next to someone reading a book or scrolling something interesting on their phone, or even when someone's watching something. You're not being nosy, you're just showing curiosity in a polite way. And that's the key. Questions don't have to be deep, they just have to feel friendly and honest. A small question breaks the silence, and once the other person starts speaking, it becomes easier for you to respond. You'll be surprised how one small question can lead to a 5-minute or even 10-minute conversation.
Yes, and when you start with a question, you don't need to feel pressure to talk too much right away. You're letting the other person take the lead, and that helps calm your nerves. The best part, you can prepare a few of these friendly questions and keep them ready in your mind. That way, if you ever feel stuck or nervous, you already know how to begin. It's just like keeping a small toolkit in your pocket. And remember, when you're learning how to start a conversation in English with anyone, the goal is not to impress, it's to connect. A simple question does that beautifully.
Another good reason to use questions is that they show confidence, even if you're a little nervous inside. When you ask someone a question, it shows you're interested in them, and that feels good to people. It builds trust in just a few seconds. And when they answer, they also feel more open to talking to you. So the next time you want to start a conversation, don't overthink it. Just look around and ask something small. That one sentence can turn into a great conversation. And every time you do it, you'll get better and more natural at it.
So true. Starting with a question is like pressing play on a conversation, and the more you use this strategy, the more confident you'll become. Whether you're at work, at a cafe, in a class, or even online, these small questions are your key to making a real connection. So next time, try it. Ask something easy, smile, and see what happens. You'll be surprised how quickly things can move forward from just one small question.
Now we've understood the fear barrier and how to ask a question. Let's talk about something that can make or break a conversation. The first 10 seconds. Those first few moments really matter. Your energy, your tone, even your body language. People notice all of that before they even process your words. You don't need big vocabulary here. What matters more is sounding friendly and open. A calm voice, steady eye contact, and a soft smile can instantly make someone feel at ease. And once they feel comfortable, they're more likely to respond. Even a short sentence, spoken with the right energy, can open the door.
Exactly. And that's what most people forget. It's not about saying something perfect. It's about how you show up in those first few seconds. Let's say you walk into a new place or sit near someone. You don't need to overthink it. Just saying something like, "Hi, I just thought I'd say hello," works really well. It's friendly, it's simple, and it's enough to break the silence. Or if you're in a group, you could try, "Hey, mind if I join you?" These aren't complicated sentences, but they carry the right vibe. That friendly, no pressure feeling, that's what helps start real conversations.
And let's not forget, your body language adds a lot to the message. You could say the right words, but if your shoulders are tense and you're not making eye contact, it won't feel the same. But when you smile just a little, sit relaxed, and speak clearly, it invites the other person in. Even something like, "Hi, how's your day going?" can feel really warm if you deliver it with the right energy. These little things, your tone, your face, your posture, they all matter in those early seconds. And you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present.
Yes, and if you think about it, we all respond to people's energy more than their exact words. If someone looks nervous or unsure, we hesitate too. But when someone sounds calm and kind, we naturally open up. That's why it's helpful to practice just a few of these openers, not to memorize them, but to feel more ready when the moment comes. Think of them as tools you can pull out when needed. And once you've used them a few times, they become part of your rhythm. You'll start to feel more natural each time you speak.
Totally. One tip that helps is to practice saying those short openers at home, just to get used to them. It can be as simple as, "Hey, can I sit here?" or "Hi, nice to meet you." Say them aloud and imagine saying them in a real situation. The more familiar they become, the less pressure you'll feel when you're actually with someone. It's like warming up before a workout. You're just preparing your voice and your confidence. And once you've done it once or twice, you'll realize how much easier it is than you imagined.
That's the thing. Once you push through those first 10 seconds, the hardest part is over. You've already taken the step. And even if the other person only gives a short reply, you've still broken the silence. That's progress. Don't judge the result. Just focus on starting. Keep your tone relaxed, your words simple, and your energy open. Over time, those small starts will lead to bigger, more natural conversations, and you'll start to feel proud of how far you've come, one sentence at a time.
Now, let's look at something that makes starting a conversation really simple. Just notice what's happening around you. The truth is, we often ignore the obvious. You and the other person are standing in the same line, sitting in the same room, or attending the same event. So why not use that as your opening? You could say, "It's really crowded today," or "I didn't expect it to be this cold." These comments feel easy and unplanned, which makes them comfortable. You're not jumping into a deep topic, you're just reacting to your shared surroundings. It makes the moment feel normal, not awkward.
Exactly. When you point out something both of you can see or feel, it breaks the ice in the smoothest way. You don't have to force a topic or sound super confident. You're just starting with what's already there. It could be something simple like, "The coffee smells amazing today," or "Looks like we'll be waiting for a while." These kinds of comments don't pressure the other person. In fact, they open a little door.
And if they respond, you've just entered a casual conversation without even realizing it. It's a soft start, and soft starts are the best for learners building confidence.
And here's a simple structure that helps. Observation, question, response. So you first notice something around you, then turn it into a friendly question. Like, they changed the menu again. Have you tried this one before? That leads to a natural reply, and now you're talking. This method doesn't need big vocabulary. It needs attention and practice. You just look around, find something small, and use it to begin. It's one of the most underrated tools for speaking naturally, especially in new places like a cafe, classroom, or even public transport.
And one more benefit, it's great for shy learners. If you're not comfortable talking a lot yet, this technique keeps things short. You're not giving a speech, you're just making a small comment. And from there, the other person might take it forward. You just have to create that opening. Also, it feels more personal because it connects to that exact moment you're sharing. It's not random. That's what makes it real and friendly. Even a simple, "It's peaceful here, isn't it?" can go a long way. These little comments slowly build your fluency without pressure.
What I also like is that it works even if you're not feeling very confident, because you don't have to prepare in advance. You don't need a list of smart questions. You just look around and speak about what's real in the moment. That could be the weather, the noise level, or even how long you've been waiting. It's natural because it's not memorized. It's based on your current situation. And when people hear that, they respond with equal ease. It feels human, and that's what conversation is all about.
Yes, and once you start doing this regularly, your brain becomes quicker at spotting those little moments. You start noticing things more, and slowly you become someone who can start a conversation anywhere with anyone. That's real progress. And the best part is, you're learning English in context. You're not translating in your head, you're reacting in real time. That's the kind of practice that builds real confidence. So next time you feel stuck, just take a quick look around you. Chances are the conversation starter is already there.
Let's talk about what happens after you've started a conversation. A lot of people get stuck right here. They say something, the other person replies, and then what? Silence. That's when you need follow-up questions. These are the tools that keep things moving. You're not changing the topic, you're building on what's already been said. For example, if someone says, "I'm into painting," don't just say, "Cool." Ask, "Oh, really? How long have you been into that?" That one question shows you're interested, and it invites a longer, more relaxed reply.
Yes, and these kinds of bridge questions are a must. Think of them as little steps that take the conversation forward. When someone tells you something, instead of ending it with a nod, add something like, "That's interesting. What got you into it?" It's friendly, it's simple, and it keeps the energy flowing. Another one I love using is, "What do you usually do here?" Whether you're at the gym, a cafe, or a class, that line works. It's a great way to learn more without sounding too direct. And when the other person speaks more, you get to relax and respond naturally.
Exactly. This is where your English fluency really grows, because now you're responding in real time. And one powerful tool you can use is called the yes and technique. It means when someone shares something, you agree or show interest, and then add a comment or question. For example, "Oh, you like music?" "Yes, and I've been meaning to learn the guitar too. What instrument do you play?" This keeps the connection alive. You're not giving short answers, you're helping the conversation breathe.
That's a great point. Too often, we kill conversations by giving one-word replies, or we panic and change the topic. But if you stay in the same moment and build on what the other person said, it feels smooth. You're not pushing anything, you're following their lead. That's how real conversations grow. You just need to have a few of these flexible follow-up phrases ready. They don't have to be perfect, they just have to show curiosity. And that makes you come across as a good listener and a confident English speaker.
And here's the thing, even native speakers use the same strategy. Most people don't speak with fancy words. They just respond to what's being said with interest and warmth. You can use phrases like, "Really, that's cool," or "No way, tell me more." These short reactions create space, and that space gives you time to think,
breathe, and continue. The more you use these, the more natural your English conversation skills will feel. It's not about grammar here, it's about connection.
Exactly. You're not in a test, you're in a moment. And moments don't need perfect sentences, they need real attention. So when you start using these follow-up questions, those small, oh really, and how did that happen lines, you're showing the other person that you're present, and that makes people want to keep talking to you. It's a win for your fluency and for your confidence. Keep a few of these in your back pocket, and soon you'll be able to keep any conversation going naturally and easily.
Let's be honest, knowing how to end a conversation politely is just as important as starting one. A lot of people feel stuck at this point. They've had a good chat, but now they don't know how to leave without sounding rude. So they just kind of walk away, or worse, go silent. And that feels awkward for both people. But here's the good news. There are a few friendly English phrases you can use that make your exit feel smooth and respectful. One of my favorites is, "It was really nice chatting with you." It's polite, and it gently closes the conversation without sounding cold.
Absolutely, and I think this is a part of conversation that doesn't get enough attention. A good exit shows confidence. It tells the other person that you enjoyed the talk, but now you're moving on with respect. Another great line is, "Hope to catch you again soon." It's warm, it leaves the door open for another chat, and it keeps the vibe friendly. You're not disappearing, you're just wrapping up. These little phrases make you sound fluent and socially aware, and they're easy to remember. Perfect for anyone practicing real-life English speaking.
Right, and here's another one that works in almost any situation. "I've got to run, but this was great. Thanks." It feels natural. You're saying goodbye, but in a positive tone. You're showing appreciation for the moment. These phrases are especially useful in short social settings, like a casual meeting, a chat with someone at work, or even in a cafe. Ending the conversation smoothly helps you leave with confidence, and that's just as important for your English fluency as starting with confidence.
Yes, and it also protects you from that uncomfortable silence that happens when people don't know how to end things. When you've practiced these polite exit phrases, you don't have to panic. You'll know exactly what to say, and it won't feel forced. It'll feel natural. Just like you'd say hello to start a conversation, think of these phrases as your polite way to say goodbye. They're part of your daily English conversation toolkit. And once you start using them, you'll notice how much easier social English becomes.
Another tip, always say your exit line with a smile and relaxed tone. Don't rush or sound like you're trying to escape. When you say something like, "This was fun, let's chat again sometime," say it kindly. Even if the conversation was short, it shows maturity. These little things help build not just language skills, but social skills too. It's all part of sounding natural in English. And honestly, it leaves a good impression.
Exactly. And don't overthink it. You're not being rude by ending a conversation. In fact, when you do it with kindness, people respect you even more. You're showing that you value time, yours and theirs. So whether it's at a party, at school, or in a public place, just use one of these soft exit lines, smile, and leave calmly. No ghosting, no awkward pauses, just a clean, confident finish. That's real English fluency in action.
Finally, let's talk about something really important, where you should start practicing all these conversation skills. It's not smart to jump straight into conversations with strangers if you're not ready. That just builds stress. Instead, start in safe zones. Talk to people who already know you, even a little, like classmates or coworkers. These are low-pressure situations. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay. You're not being judged, you're learning. A simple, "How's your day going?" or "Did you see the news today?" is more than enough. The goal is to build comfort through regular, easy small talk.
Yes, and another great place to practice is in online communities or English learning groups. These are full of people just like you, people who are also learning. So the fear of being wrong disappears. You can ask questions, try me phrases, and even message in English without that pressure of face-to-face speaking. It's like your training ground. Every short message or comment builds your fluency little by little. And the more you engage, the more confident you'll become in your daily English practice. This is one of the best ways to build your skills before going out into real-world conversations.
Exactly. And don't forget those everyday places where you can practice just a few words, like when you talk to a shopkeeper, a driver, or someone at a food stall. Even just saying, "How much is this?" or "Nice weather today" counts as English speaking practice. These little moments are gold. You're not expected to have a long conversation, but you are training your mouth, your confidence, and your rhythm. If you mess up, it doesn't matter. You'll probably never see that person again, and even if you do, they won't remember one small mistake.
Right, and when you do this again and again, something magical happens. You start repeating the same types of phrases, but with small variations. Maybe today you say, "Is this fresh?" And tomorrow you try, "Do you have a fresh one?" These little changes are powerful. They train your brain to stay flexible in English, and you're still in your safe zone. That's how real comfort builds, not from studying 100 new phrases, but from repeating 10 phrases in slightly new ways every day. It's low effort, but high impact.
And the best part, you stop feeling like English is something separate. It becomes part of your daily life. You go from learning English to using English. And when you practice in these safe, familiar zones, your confidence grows without you even realizing it. That confidence is what prepares you to speak with anyone, at a party, in a job interview, or even in a foreign country. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Use what's already around you. Use the people and places in your normal day to build fluency step by step.
Exactly. And if you've listened to this entire episode, you already know that you don't need fancy grammar or big vocabulary to start speaking. You need courage, simple strategies, and lots of gentle practice. So go back to segment 1 and start trying one idea at a time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Try it with your friend, your classmate, the driver, the shopkeeper. Every little effort adds up. And that's how you'll become someone who doesn't just learn English, but actually lives it.